How ethanol is manufactured by Jared Pierce. The fermentation of yeast. In the United States, corn is used as the main feedstock for fuel ethanol due to its abundance and low price. Brazil, the world's second largest fuel ethanol producer after the United States, makes most of its fuel ethanol from sugarcane. Fermentation is an anaerobic process. This means that for it to work, there needs to be no oxygen. Here's the formula for the generation of ethanol. So yeast is a type of single-celled fungus, and it provides the enzymes needed for fermentation. It isn't easy, so if the yeast cells were to become too cold, the fermentation will happen too slowly, if it even happens at all. And if the yeast becomes too hot, their enzymes will become denatured and the fermentation will just stop. Here is an image showing how a yeast cell will eat the sugar, ferment it, it will release energy as adenosine triphosphate, and as a byproduct it releases ethanol. And the ethanol is what we use as an alcohol, because it is an alcohol, and this alcohol is used in alcoholic beverages. How has the manufacturing of alcohol affected society's drinking habits? Ethanol, or ethyl alcohol, is the type of alcohol that over 2 billion people drink every day. Ethanol has been around for centuries, even as far back as the ancient Egyptians, who used to brew wine and beer. This is done because it changes the way people feel. Ethanol is harmful to the human body. The human liver is able to metabolize the ethanol, but only in limited quantities. Ethanol is treated as a toxin in the human body. It does damage the liver, the brain, and other organs over time. There are more than just personal effects of alcohol. The economic effects of alcohol abuse are as damage to the nation as the health effects. Alcohol abuse affects families, the communities, and people of all ages. Underage drinking is interfering with children's development and affecting the nation's ability to respond to economic challenge in the future. The university age group may be the most difficult to educate about alcohol abuse because drinking patterns are already established by this point. The healthcare costs for the NHS for people in Britain average to about £3.5 billion according to The Guardian, and as many as 1 in 10 people are in hospital bed right now due to alcohol related problems, with a greater number at 1 in 5 are harming themselves through alcohol consumption. So how do we test for alcohols in chemistry? The presence of alcohol can be tested for using potassium dichromate, K2Cr2O7. If a few drops of alcohol are added to a test tube containing this compound and an additional dilute amount of sulfuric acid, H2SO4, with this all in a test tube, if this is heated within a water bath, after a few minutes you should see a color change from orange to a pale green. And you can see the difference here. Here is the orange without alcohol. If alcohol is added to this solution, you will end up with a color change of this dark murky green. Alcohol can also be used as a solvent in chemistry. Ethanol has the ability to dissolve organic compounds which otherwise would not be dissolved in water. And for this reason, it is used in hand sanitizer, because it is able to stop or greatly slow down the growth of potentially harmful microorganisms. This is done by causing the proteins within the microorganisms to be deformed and lose their shape. This means that the proteins are not able to work correctly. This loss of shape within the proteins is called denaturation. Here we see the effects. A typical alpha helix for a protein. When in an alcohol-rich environment, the protein has no specific shape. This process can kill 99.9% of bacterium and microorganisms which may cause you harm.